It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. Mike Courson joined today by special baseball guest. We've got Superfan Chris Coates. He's from Raytown, Missouri, the Postal Service man. That, Chris, you kind of gained some fame back before the Royals were doing much of anything in, 2008, 2009-ish?
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about, big Royals fan, obviously, and you've been going to Royals games since you were a little kid, but as an adult, you decided to start traveling to games, and what do you know, Fox Sports Kansas City starts putting you on TV. How did that all play out for you? And back, what was that, 15 years ago?
Well, I would watch a lot of the games, at home like any other normal Royals fan would, and they put a bunch of Royals fans up on the TV, kind of from commercial breaks and stuff like that, and I've seen them with their signs and stuff. So I'd like to go check out a few stadiums, in my lifetime, and I'd just try to knock out as many as I could. Well, I brought a flag with me, and I just tied it up behind my back and just kind of walked around the stadium. And I guess the TV crew just happened to pick up on it. This was down in Houston, and they just happened to put me up on the broadcast. And then I was walking back, and I found Ryan Lefevre, and we just got to talking. And I drove to Houston, and then I told him I was driving up to Pittsburgh. And he's like, "Oh wow, we'll have to try to get you on there too. That's a heck of a drive." And I think they put me up in Pittsburgh, and then it just became a thing. People kept seeing me on TV, and they're like, "Hey, that's that guy that goes to the Royals games."
Do you know how many stadiums you've been to at this point?
I've got to every MLB stadium, every MLB city, all 30. But there's still 2 new ones that I have not been to. So I've gotten to the cities, Atlanta and Miami, but with the new ballparks, I have to go recertify myself as getting those back in.
Yeah, so I kind of came on board. I was working in a newspaper, and that's how I got in touch with you about that time. And Royals were no good, but then all of a sudden, about 5-6 years later, World Series runs. So how about the fan atmosphere and kind of what it did to some of the catsuit guys, the guy that was carrying around the moose antlers, what was 2014-15 like just for some of the rabid fans like yourself?
Well, it was really kind of crazy because it was like late August, late September, they're making a push. The crowds were still kind of light, about 10 to 20,000, but it was still pretty loud, when the Kauffman Stadium gets loud, even 10 to 15,000 sound like 20 to 30 at times. And we're getting real pumped up, and they get there, and of course the wild card night, that was an amazing night, and it just kind of kept on rolling from there. I mean, I think they went 8-0 before they suffered the first loss in the World Series.
Well, and the catsuit guys got to go. Their pictures made it on a bus. Were you one of the guys pictured on the transportation? Yes.
I was on one of the sides. I think we were on opposite sides, but yeah, I did have a picture on that famous bus. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so let's fast forward to this year now. You were in Baltimore, so you find out they're going to the playoffs. What's the process? Hey, I'm taking off a few days.
Well, I checked with my management. I get 5 weeks every year, but I've been saving a lot of that every year just for something like this. And I asked for the whole month of October off, and they gave it to me. I told them, I said, I'll come back as long as the Royals aren't playing. So, I mean, I don't expect to use all the time, but, I mean, I guess I will if they get to the World Series.
We're talking to Royal superfan Chris Coates. He's a postal man up in Raytown, Missouri. Used to be on TV a bunch. Yeah, so, and I've kind of got to watch you on Facebook. You got married, you got kids. You're traveling with a kiddo this time. How has that changed the game?
Yeah, so I've got 2 kids. I tried to get the older one involved, but he's not so much interested as much as my younger one. He's 5 years old, the younger one, and I've taken to most of the games this year with the fan appreciation pass or whatever it's called. It's like $40 a month, and you can, kind of sit around the ballpark. It's just standing room, but there's plenty of seats to just kind of hang out and watch the ball game. And he's been to like 50 or 60 games with me this summer. And I wanted to include him on the ride, So I packed up the car, and we drove 16 hours I worked Monday, and then like I said, I packed up the car and we drove, and we had about 24 hours to get there. So we made it work, and we got there, and what an incredible series to watch.
Yeah, and you've been to pretty much all the stadiums. You got a favorite ballpark food or favorite ballpark that really stands out?
A lot of the National League ballparks are pretty good. Pittsburgh and San Diego, just something, with the background. Even St. Louis, with the arch in the background. The downtown atmosphere is pretty cool. I know the Royals are pushing for it. The fans don't like it, but it's something else.
Yeah, the Roberto Clemente Bridge in Pittsburgh, that would be on my bucket list of ballparks to see. Where are you right now then?
Well, we're in New York. We're getting ready for the game on Saturday. We're just kind of monitoring ticket prices, and we're just going to do the best we can. It's not cheap here on the East Coast.
Have you been inside did you go to the old Yankee Stadium?
I have been to the old Yankee Stadium, and I have been new Yankee Stadium. I've got both covered.
Okay, so they play, what have we got, Sunday, Monday, I think Wednesday. Will you be able to make it back to Kansas City for Game 3?
Yeah, it's going to be about 18 hours after Monday night to try to get back by Wednesday. I think we can manage. I mean, we did 16 to Baltimore, and we did okay. And we're going to give it our best effort. And I got a home game streak going. Over 1,600 games. I've got to make it.
So Superfan Chris Coates for the Kansas City Royals. I hope the organization and Major League Baseball appreciates what you do, because not everyone can or would do that. So enjoy your time on the East Coast and go Royals. Yeah,
for sure, man. Let's get it done. We'll be looking forward to either Detroit or Cleveland if we can get it done.
Yes, sir. Superfan Chris Coates, good luck out there. Safe travels. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yep, no problem. More Sports Day after this.